Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another reaction video with yours truly. Today we're going to be reacting to one of Asmongold's clips. Of course, the title is Pokimane effed up real bad. Now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's hop into the video.
What is this? Pokimane hates the rich?
Do you think someday we'll have a revolution like that in America and we hate the rich?
We? Who's this we?
Do you think someday we'll have a revolution like that in America?
I love how people like this say it as if you wouldn't be one of the first ones to get in the guillotine. Fuck yeah, you'd be the first one! Who's this we?
Right? It's getting there, right?
You already have one.
Another one. The wealth disparity is getting bad.
She's right. She is.
The wage gap, I hate that shit.
He's talking about like the men and women shit, right? Like that's totally different.
No wealth disparity. Wage gap is like between men and women.
This is like some guy being on a date with like a hyper political girl, and he's like, yeah, for sure.
Men and women, we love each other, and we hate the rich.
Aren't you the rich?
No.
Fucking bro.
Oh. Like the ultra rich.
The ultra rich. I'm sorry, but if your net worth is over $10 million, your head's going on the chopping block. Oh, not ultra rich. Oh no, it's different.
The
You have to
unnecessarily
clarify.
rich.
You
The
gotta
ultra
say
giga
you gotta
rich.
say the billionaires.
The billionaires.
you are rich.
The Bezos.
You can't be saying that.
I'm rich in friendship.
Well, you
Do you-
also just rich. Here's what you need to understand about influencers courting and memeing around revolutions. The only reason why they do it is because they think that they won't be a victim. I've got to tell you, you'll be one of the first ones. Because it'll make a big splash. You're killing all of the celebrities. Of course they would do that. What are you talking about? It's really damaging for the movement of people that are trying to be, you know, a force for social change, to be absolutely fucking antithetical in their lifestyle.
And I don't care. I live on a basic necessity budget for the most part anyway.
It looks really bad when you have all of these people who are talking about how great socialism is when these people live lives of luxury. If a person doesn't live what they preach, they probably don't believe it that much, do they? Let's just use some common sense.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, that was the reaction video. Just touching base on what Asma said in general. I do think that when people start off grinding, you know, like they're, you know, grinding for their dreams and defining their purpose, I do think that when they're on the road to, you know, their perceived levels of greatness, that in the beginning, they're like one of us, like a regular person, you know, grinding every day, trying to make it to the top, trying to achieve, you know, their goals and their dreams. I do think that in the beginning, they would be one of us. I do think that when they reach that level of fame and then they start to live the luxury lifestyles and, you know, they're traveling every other month, you know, they're going places, they have really fancy cars, that, you know, they live in a house. And a lot of the people that end up being, a lot of the people today, shout out to TikTok, are able to make millions off of one viral moment. And I'm sorry to say it, but those people are not like everyone else anymore. The reason why people are having an issue with Pokimane now, recently, is because of that comment that, you know, that they, you know, will there ever be like a revolution against, you know, the rich people? And people look at it like, what are you talking about? You're rich. So, you know, you're in that category, whether you like it or not. Now, of course, you know, Pokimane extrapolated a little bit, and she was a little more specific, and she said the ultra rich. I really do think, from an average standpoint, if we're talking in the United States of America, the people who are the richest in the world, people that make $100,000 a year end up, numbers about like the top 10 to 15% of people in the US. The average American makes about like $50,000 to $60,000, and that's just the average. But unfortunately, a lot like the mold, which is like the number that you see often, people, I don't even know if people land jobs starting at 50. Sometimes they start anywhere between 40 to 48. I do think that what people are highlighting in regards to Pokimane is the fact that some people do feel as though, no, you're not one of us. Your net worth alone is over $1 million. I would look at it and say, look, If you are classified as a millionaire, you're rich. Now, I understand there's the ultra wealthy and things like that. Listen, if your net worth is $1 million, you have to understand that you are probably within the top 5% of most richest people on the face of the planet from an overall standpoint. Now, top 10%, people that make anywhere between $80,000 to $100,000 a year. But once you hit six figures, I would say that you are rich. Now, ultra wealthy, I guess that's a different level. That's a different level that I'm not necessarily focusing on. However, compared to the average person works a 9 to 5, if not 2 part-time jobs to make ends meet. Sometimes they're working 2 full-time jobs just to make ends meet, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. And you can run into so many people and see that a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. These people don't have $100,000 to their name. Pokimane isn't in that category. People see Pokimane as being rich. And I'm pretty sure that there are people out there that look at Pokimane and say that, okay, she's wealthy too. So the same people that she may be talking about, she's a part of that group as well. I just understand that that's just how social media is going to take it. I like to make sure that I actually understand what I'm talking about, and that I have been through what the target population has already gone through, you know? Like I wouldn't be able to comment on going to trade school if I've never went to school myself. You just have to be careful with what you say and kind of just like think about what it is that you're talking about. But that's also one of the reasons why I've never really been a fan of getting into politics, because once you start to dive into politics, you run into a whole world of, you know, people on both sides of the political spectrum, because you have people that work in finance, you have people that work in business, and then you have the social media that has a 2 cents about all of that. You just have to be careful with what you say. But I'm just saying, you know, think about what you say, kind of understanding where you are in the world and how you fit into it. If you ever do misspeak, you know, just let the people know that, you know, everyone isn't perfect. People misspeak all the time. But just be careful not to do it again. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you in the next reaction video.